cameras on.
We got Doctor Who in there. Done. We have an audience. Let's just settle in for a second and forget that the camera is going.
Right.
All of this pre-jabber is going to be so endearing. Everyone will love us for it. So we're so real. It's normal.
Hashtag relatable.
Becca gave me this mug.
B-roll. I feel like if I have one clip of B-roll, I need at least like a second angle to justify cutting away.
Oh gosh. Remember when that wasn't a thing though with YouTube? Nobody had B-roll.
Yeah.
It was just people sitting there and then people started to try to get fancy.
What a great transition!
It's like a prerequisite now to be
It is.
to be fancy. You have to
because
be
it's
fancy.
so easy to find, like get good equipment and have good lighting.
So we're here today. I'll do the introduction. I just don't like the awkwardness of introduction.
Just get it over with. Rip off the Band-Aid.
Okay. Becca is here visiting from Colorado. Silver Fair? Yeah? No.
Yep.
Yeah? Or Becca D?
Becca D.
Becca D on YouTube. Links will be everywhere. It'll be fine.
all over. I want every square inch of this covered with annotations.
So you'll be able to find her. But we wanted to talk about our relationship with YouTube, which seems to be different from the mainstream relationship with YouTube.
YouTube as a hobby versus YouTube as a career.
Mm-hmm.
Sort of.
Everybody wants to like get as many subscribers as possible, even if it's not like a career. It's still like the goal to keep growing and be popular, and we don't necessarily have that, and we thought we should talk about that.
My first sort of thought, two worlds coexisting together and influencing each other. Like just because you're pursuing it as a hobby doesn't mean you're not making good content.
Yeah.
And people who are hobbyists are really important to people who are full-time or people who are making it, because their content is going to be different. They're going to influence each other, and I think that's an important element. Like they have a different set of rules that they're working with and different sort of restraints.
That kind of leads into something that I was going to say. We'll just combine it all, otherwise it'll be a 20-minute video anyway.
Have fun editing.
Do you find that there's more or less motivation when you're not basing it on views or subscribers? Because like, you're right, it is like freeing in a lot of ways to not have that, but at the same time it's a driving force.
Like I don't have anybody upset with me if I don't upload. Like you maybe, but
no.
I can fight off I can fight off just like a couple people who are teasing me about not uploading. But I feel like there's a lot more pressure if you've got like 100,000 or I mean even just a couple of thousand subscribers that you feel more responsibility towards, I guess.
Yeah.
Like if you're trying to make it, it's very dependent on yourself. And it's very dependent on like I can't take a break, even like over Christmas. Like I get a week off at work, I can take days off and I know that the work is going to be there when I get back. Because YouTube isn't my source of income. But because it can be so unpredictable. If you're a YouTuber, you can't be sure that the work is going to be there. So if there is work, you have to work.
On the flip side, having that strong of a goal or that strong of a desire to get bigger and stuff is motivation to keep making content and keep getting better at making content. Whereas like that is one of the downsides of it just being a hobby that you like to do. It can come and go with the wind, you know, it's hard to stay motivated when you're just doing it for yourself.
You can do it like when you have the striking moment of inspiration and you're not going to force yourself.
The opposite is also true in some ways. Like no one's forcing you to do it. It isn't expected, and so you might not feel that like resentment because you have to do it. So in other ways you could be freed up to want to do it more because there's no pressure.
I think if YouTube is a hobby, you're less likely to get bitter about it. But if it's your career, you can get really frustrated and you can burn out a lot faster. Have you ever had the desire to want to make it?
Sure. I feel like it comes and goes, really. Like there are times when I'm like, why don't I just do this, you know?
Just commit. Just go all in, man.
Just go for it, you know? Life! Parks jokes. Anyway.
What could go wrong? I think if I was trying to make it, I would stick to a schedule more. And I would throw myself out there in ways that maybe weren't comfortable for me. Because I'm like, oh, in the long run, this is going to pay off. And like, I'm just trying to get my name out there and I'm trying to network. But it's not necessarily something that would be a genuine representation of me. So like, because YouTube is just a hobby for me, and because like my income is coming somewhere else, I could drop YouTube now and like I wouldn't have that much of a negative impact in my life. And so I feel like I'm not putting as much effort into it because I don't have as much riding on it.
Yeah.
It's not a risk
Yeah.
I have to take, so I'm not going to take the risk.
Yeah.
At the same time, I can take risks because I don't have a fallout. Like, I can upload something without worrying about like what several thousand people are going to worry about. Yeah.
I think that's probably what it boils down to for me too. Like, more consistent, more in general, because you know, right now I just do it when I feel like it. And then probably try to be more relevant. Like, now I mostly purposefully stay away from those sorts of things because they're incendiary, and I don't want that kind of like response. I want to talk about things that have nothing to do with anything else, and then I feel safe. And probably have my content a little more brand rather than scattered. Like
think through, like, okay, what sort of videos am I going to make? Which direction am I going to take this in? Because you're thinking more long term, right? Like, you're thinking about, if this is something I'm going to be doing in 5 years, how can I build toward that point I'll be in 5 years, as opposed to, oh, what do I feel like doing today?
Right. Which is, it feels limiting to me, but it would be hard to be, it would be hard to grow if you weren't having that kind of a focus. What makes you feel validated after putting up a video? You know, if you're not specifically going for the view count or gaining all those subscribers.
I think it depends on the video. Like, I do PMS, right? And so for me, the validation for PMS comes when I'm done and I've exported it, and like, I'm like, okay, great, that month is saved, that memory is saved. And so for me, that's the validation. Like, if my PMS videos don't get any views, if they don't get any comments, I'm still gonna like them because I make them more for me personally.
Yeah.
If it's another video, I feel more validated when it strikes up a conversation, whether it be with like a friend or somebody comments on it. And even if it's just like one thought that comes back to me, it's like, oh, okay, I wasn't shouting into the void. Somebody heard that and they, you know, they shouted back from wherever they were. I talk sometimes about, like, as an artist, like, the worst sort of feedback I can get is indifference. Like, if I'm gonna put something out there, either like love it and be like, oh, this is really cool and I'm really interested in this, or like really dislike it. I'd rather have you say, oh, this is awful, than to just be like, oh yeah, that looks good. It's like, no, I don't want it to just like be nice. I don't want it to be fine. I want it to like evoke an emotion. I want a reaction, I guess.
For the most part, I just like finishing a video and being like, ha, I did this!
I did the thing!
I don't remember who said this, but it was about writing. Like, I don't enjoy writing. I enjoy having written.
Yeah.
I enjoy having created. I don't always enjoy the creating process. So
Yeah, definitely.
Once that's done, it's a huge high. It's like, yes. And it's concrete, and it will always be there.
There's nothing concrete about like philosophizing about life.
But if you make it into a video,
if you can turn it into a video, if you can get those thoughts like recorded,
add a couple of B-roll clips, and then it's art.
It's an opportunity to tell stories and to talk about ideas.
Yeah.
On just like this huge scale that's not happened before.
And even just that fact makes it so much more fun to create something, you know? Because even if no one is seeing it immediately, like you said, if there's a possibility that 5 years from now someone's going to see it, it's still interesting and it's still enough motivation regardless of how big the audience is immediately. Do you feel isolated because you don't share the goals of other YouTubers who want to make it, or liberated?
Liberated.
Yeah?
Yeah, because I can go to bed at 10 p.m. not having uploaded a video.
Poor Paul.
Poor Paul.
We love you, Paul.
So much. But it is. It's like every time I see that somebody is up late editing, like the really free spirit creative person in me is just like, oh, what a life. Like, just stay up into the wee hours of the morning working on your art. Like, there's such a romance
eating
to
beans out of a can because you didn't get your view count.
Too real. But the reality of that is so miserable.
It so is.
And I think in a lot of ways I feel liberated because it's like, oh, like my PMS for November didn't go up until like just before Christmas, which was so much later than the deadline I gave myself. But like I ran into things and there was just like a lot going on. And I was like, okay, it's frustrating that I can't reach my deadline, but I don't have to work past these roadblocks. Like I can give myself the space to just upload this when I got the time, and like wait until I'm like in a good headspace to do it too,
and not just throw something crappy out there.
Right, it's a lot more self-care. Paul, go to bed on time. Moral of the story. Speaking of Luke, I'm getting a message from you.
Good, we have more time.
We have more time. I'm gonna send him a photo. We're gonna do this live. Have fun editing this out.
I'll probably leave it in.
Great.
A little after the black screen fun.
Always stay till the end of the video.
Because that used to be like my favorite part of videos.
It is, because well, that's when you're most real. Okay, watch me bring it back. Like when you hear those end bits and those real bits of life, the creator's not trying anymore, and they've gotten to the point where it's just coming out naturally. And I think when something comes out naturally, even if it's something that you like had to force to begin with, it becomes more natural, and that's so important to remember, regardless of whether or not you're a hobbyist or somebody who's trying to make it.
Yeah.
Because if you're forcing yourself and you're frustrated with what you're creating, it's not going to be good, because it's going to show through.
Go subscribe to Bekah. We're gonna make another video for her channel. Very different.
Very different.
Less editing.
Yes.
I like how you worked that out. I didn't even think about it when we were deciding who was doing which video. Thanks for that, Bekah.
You're welcome.
True YouTuber.
Anytime.
Peace, love, happiness.